Howdy, soldiers. Good day to you. Sergeant Fury here with the Title 6 update for the Division 2. I have to tell you, man, you can see a big difference between this game and other titles that Ubisoft has, the Ghost Recon franchise to be specific, as to the extent of updates and what's going on, and how much massive is on top of this. So here we go. We can have two new side missions. Okay. And the patch notes are really, really long. I'm not going to read everything. I'll just leave a link and you guys can go read it because they're really extensive. Okay, but the main gist that people are interested in, obviously, is the new side mission, Pentagon Breach. At the beginning of Episode 2, players will investigate a transmission from fellow agents scouting the Pentagon for the pre-fusion bioreactor. Securing the bioreactor would allow agents to replicate the antiviral samples recovered at Tyler Basin. Agents must navigate flood-damaged and Black Tusk forces take back the last castle. Main mission is going to be the Pentagon. Agents will discover the location of the pre-fusion bioreactor inside the Pentagon's underground research facility. Black Tusk have already infiltrated the lab and are attempting to extract the reactor. Okay, so you get to go down here and mess around in the DARPA research lab. In a race against time, players must make their way through the Pentagon into the DARPA labs as the Black Tusks are in the process of transporting the pre-fusion bioreactor through an abandoned Cold War tunnel network. There's a new specialty class. Technician is our fifth specialty and is equipped with a P-017 launcher which fires 6 missiles to seek out enemies. Yeah, you can mark up to 6 guys at the same time. Technician also wields a Maxim 9 as her sidearm, has access to the Artificer Hive skill variant and EMP grenades. It's a support agent which can boost both its own and other skills with its variant of the Hive Artificer. Okay. Classified assignments for you that have the Season Pass, Gold, Ultimate Editions, right? You get all this stuff. Marina supply route. Outcasts have been moving weapon supplies into a boathouse on the Potomac River. The boathouse was used as a transport depot during the outbreak to move assets to the Potomac Center and Roosevelt Islands. Agents must investigate and seize all the weapons they can find. And MVC crash site. Okay. JFT helicopter was filled with supplies, was shot down by the outcasts, crashed through the roof of the Mexican embassy in Washington, D.C. Oh, hell yeah. We can have some Mexican food. That'll be great. They probably got some really good stuff hanging out there. Some tequila. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Yep. Some hot sauce, bottles of hot sauce, right? All that good stuff that we can't get in Washington right now. Okay, task was locating the helicopter, rescue the pilot, and secure the supplies before the outcasts get there. All right, so those are your 2 side missions. Player versus player map. The Wharf. I remember something like this when we first start the game, and you're in that little seaside town. Remember that house has that big crab on it? Wharf joins the existing rotation of conflict maps, adding a new location in the abandoned fishing harbor, the location itself offering raised vantage points and multiple flanking routes. Player versus player mode, team elimination. Team elimination is the third game mode of conflict, placing players in several fast-paced rounds of permadeath where each round is encouraging players to work together to ensure the victory, but also offering great comeback opportunities. For some reason, you get these Kneepads. Why anybody would want to wear those? That's like totally frickin' Fortnite-y, weird-looking crap, man. I mean, totally just weird. But that's what they do. Short circuit, first wave tech, disrupts. Affects how now destroys hostile skill proxies after staying in cover for 4 seconds. You can lead by example buff. Lead by example gains 50% bonus armor while performing cover to cover. If the distance travel is the same meters. Oh my god, I'm not reading all this. New high-end weapon, KSG Shotgun. Shotguns, I don't really like them in the Division, to be honest. I don't really use one. So it's not like on the showstopper level in Division 1. So. Okay, gameplay changes. Blueprints. Added a missing blueprint for the Ace and 8 Kneepads. Removed 3 blueprints from the blueprint collection as they were not attainable in the game, which was why they would be there, I don't know. Blueprints that haven't been acquired yet will now be visible in the crafting bench interface with hints on how to acquire them. That's great. Brand sets. Brand sets now have an item available on every slot. Mask, backpack, vest, gloves, holster, and Kneepads, which they never had before. 38 new branded gear pieces have been added overall. Control point. Control point officers will now revive all down players instead of only reviving the player that was down last in co-op sessions. Crafting. Enemies will no longer drop crafting materials that the player is currently capped out on. Great. Deconstructed gear and weapons have a chance to provide polycarbonates. Chance to gain extra materials when deconstruction stays the same. Lowered crafting costs when crafting fewer grade and brand materials will not be required. Gear score 500 base materials required now 60, down from 85. At gear score 500 brand materials required now 5, down from 8. Enemies will now drop higher amounts of crafting materials. Green up to 12 from 6. Blue up to 9 from 4. Named enemies drop larger quantity than before. Crafting materials containers will now drop 1 green, 1 blue material instead of just 1 of either. Added a notification crafting interface increases clarity when an upgraded crafting bench is available. Crafting vendor Inaya now sells a perk that allows players to share materials between all their characters. Increased perks for upgrading the material inventory size. Base material cap all perks unlocked, now 2,000 up from 600. That's quite an increase. Green material, blue material cap with all perks unlocked now, 1,500 up from 4. Increased material caps for rare materials. Purple cap now 300 up from 100. Orange up now 80 from 50. Hardwired cap now 50 up from 30. And hardwired component cap now 10 up from 5. Wowie. Gear mods. Offensive protocol, precision, defense system, resistance, unity protocol. Repository gear mods have been removed from the loot pool. XP bonuses are no longer granted by gear mods. Weapons, specific critical hit chance damage no longer granted by gear mods. Existing gear mods have not been affected by these changes. They only apply to near gear mods. Descriptive updates no longer include the keyword system protocols required to equip mods. Okay, everything in orange is shit that they're still working on. Okay, so I'm not going to read all this crap. And Kennedy College. Okay, mastery system is upcoming to expeditions. Rewarding completion time is on different difficulties. When completing for mastery medals, a special mastery modifier is activated. Dead drop is the modifier activated when Kennedy College is going live with Title Update 6. Dead drop enemies based on their veterancy will drop different types of live grenades when they die. The requirements to earn a medal are shown in the user interface, allowing players to compare their completion times. Players will now be able to play Kennedy College on normal, hard, and challenge difficulties, with each difficulty mode has its own mastery time. Kennedy College will open again on October 15th, that's today, with all 3 investigation areas again active. The expedition will close on the 29th and go on a 2-week close, 1-week open rotation. The Diamondback Exotic Rifle will be guaranteed reward for your first completion of Kennedy College when expedition opens. It's retarded. Who's going to carry a frickin' rifle around with a frickin' snake wrapped? I mean, it's like totally Fortnite pug stupid shit. Fortnite, I mean, it's like kiddie shit, man. Come on, man. The frickin' knee pads that have, you know, eagles on them, and frickin' guns that have fucking snakes around the barrels, man. That's like retarded. Totally, man. Totally all little kid stuff. Okay, now what they are going to do, though, is looted targets is a new feature introduced with Title 6 Update Episode 2. When reaching World Tour 5, players will be able to see name zones, main missions, and now have icons reflect higher drop rate for specific items. This allows agents to target specific brands, weapons, and mods in these missions and zones. Same thing we're doing in Breakpoint, where you can see exactly what the fuck is at every location. So if you want, you know, the bipod, if you want the extended mag, you know, if you want a certain blueprint, you can just go right there. You don't have to dick around and do anything else. Okay? Does that make sense? Named items. We've added new named items as well as upgrading existing ones. Named items are improved versions of normal items with a unique name as a fixed talent. The talent is a slightly better version of a normal high-end talent to ensure that these items are more rewarding and powerful. These patch notes are really long. I mean, they go from here all the way to the bottom of this page. So, again, I'm going to just sort of highlight some of these, and then you guys are going to have to read them all because they're crazy. But these are things that when you first start the game are important. Okay, The prologue mission pace has been tweaked to allow an easier entry into the game. The user interface of tutorials during the prologue mission has been improved. New tutorials, weapon switching, grenade throwing, roll, melee, set waypoint on the map, open inventory, loot, level up, living world activities, safe house, fast travel detection, weak points, destructible armor, veterans, and elite co-op matchmaking, switch to sidearms, armor, combat tactics, climb up and down for efficiency catch, side mission, and staff. Tutorial codex has been added to the character menu, can be used to access previously seen tutorials. Players now automatically start with a second weapon slot, so the perk has been removed. Tutorials for and unlocking perks have now happened later in the progression. The first upgrade of Theater Settlement now unlocks after the first safe house is also unlocked, which should be a smoother flow of progression early in the game. The Jefferson Trade Center, Viewpoint Museums, American History Museum, Air and Space Museum missions receive a starting level adjustment for better initial pacing and progression. The second skill unlock is now awarded for the Jefferson Trade Center mission instead of Grand Washington Hotel mission for better pace and onboard experience. Now, user interface is crazy. They've changed this whole frickin' thing around, which is like, this will be interesting to get in there and check all this stuff out. So that's pretty cool. Character menu has been renamed to inventory to add clarity, right? Because it's not a character, it's your inventory. Multiple improvements and notifications meant to reduce clutter, improve pace and information. Player versus player, I don't do a lot over there, so you guys are going to have to that play this are probably going to get excited about all this. The DZ Daily project now is a player versus player project. Bonus armor is now properly visualized. Normalization, conflict, end of match rewards, added new sound effects, added visibility to the area effects of range of skill, supply drops, Thieves Den vendor, recalibration, lots of recalibration, interface pairs and items to recalibrate stat types over each other, for example, offensive red attributes over defensive blue. This still only applies to stats on gear pieces of the same category. It's now possible to recalibrate items that are located in the stash, which is cool. Recalibration score has increased from 100 to 150. Shepherd and call for backup. Shepherd rank now rises automatically. Filling the Shepherd meter now triggers automatic endorsement. The host may still grant an additional endorsement. Stash. Stash space perks increased by 150. Players now have 300 stash space with all perks unlocked. Balancing changes, brand sets. They just go, it's all, I'm not going to read everything in here because it's like way too much. A lot. Yeah, NPCs, rebalanced, hard, challenging, heroic difficulty. Black Tusk Warhounds mini tanks now feature red blinking lights before they perform their on-death explosion. Okay. Fixing to prevent Black Tusk Warhounds turrets from not being able to rotate beyond a certain threshold when moving. Okay, decreased effectiveness Black Tusk mini tank. It's like I said, very long patch notes, man. These guys are. This is what I'm saying is like Massive is like on their shit, man, when it comes to fixing stuff and doing stuff. And, you know, they like to do it like a lot. So, like I said, they really went to town on this, man. You know, new talents, composure, concussion, spark, vengeance, talent changes, base gear set talents. These, like I said, I'm not going to read all these things because it's like crazy. You guys can come in here and take your time and go through all these because, like I said, they tweaked like every frickin' thing, man. Like everything, everything. You know, weapons, like, you know what I mean. So yeah, you guys are gonna have to come in here and you know, I like this damage increase on my tactical and carbon though. I do like that our sniper rifles are doing more damage. So you can see, I mean, most of these are good. It's all good. You know, I only see one negative right there, one down. Nope, they're all up pretty much. So, yeah, like I said, these guys are on it. User interface options controls. The order mod slots been rearranged on several gear items. Dice slots are not always shown at the bottom of the mod slot list. Added bleed status effect for explosive seeker, stinger, hive, artillery turret. You know, apparel, inventory, added a menu that allows sorting of gear mods in several ways, added grid view for mods to sort them by category, added more flags for items, character user interface, damage, RPM, skill power, not visible compared to the main inventory, loadouts, added 12 loadout slots. So now we have 12 loadout slots instead of whatever we had before. So really just like over the top, man. These guys rock. Like I said, they just went to town and did a whole bunch of stuff, as we can all see. Big shout out to Massive, man, for being on it. A lot different than what you saw for Breakpoint. That tells you what's going on, man. It's like, come on, dudes. You guys, somebody needs to light a fire under somebody's ass. But yeah, and this was 3 days ago. See, they like to release their patch notes like ahead of time, unlike these other divisions which like hold everything back unless you're one of their Delta Company people or whatever. Yeah, you don't get privy to all this crap. So, anyways, there you go, man. We got them all knocked out for you. I'm going to be rocking this and obviously doing these missions today, and we'll see what's up with all this, and we'll go from there. So if you get a chance, go catch me. I'll be live on Twitch. And then we'll do this probably on Sunday on YouTube again. On Subscriber Sunday, we'll go through the missions again for everybody over there so they get a chance to check all this out too. Okay? So until I see you in a little while here, as always, this is Sergeant Nick Fury. It's a pleasure, agents. Until I see you in Washington, at ease, soldiers.